What is up, everyone? All right. Time has finally come. I've been looking forward to this. I check the APBA website like every couple of weeks for the last year and a half, waiting for this set to come out. And then I get disappointed when a different set comes out because this is the one I want. This is the one where my Cleveland Browns had, their best season like in my lifetime, right? They whoops. As I'm trying to load up Pro Football Reference here, they went 12-4 in this season, and they went all the way to the AFC Championship game. And unfortunately, this is the year of the drive, which is very disappointing. But if we look, before we get into the cards, even if we look here, Browns went 12-4. They started off like 2-3, I think it was. Was it 2-3? Let's see. They started off 2-2, and then they reeled off 10 out of the last 12 wins, and including their last 6. And I gotta say, it was a fun time to be a Browns fan. I was like saving every newspaper, so I still have it in my closet in the front room where I have like I think I have the Plain Dealer or the Warren Tribune. I don't remember which. I think I have the Plain Dealer. On Monday morning after each win, I remember they started off against the Bears and lost 41-31. That was the 85 Bears coming off the Super Bowl win, and they actually lost 41-31. So they gave them a run, just couldn't do it. Their other losses came to the Bengals, but they got revenge later in the season on that one. They lost to Green Bay 17-14, yikes, and they lost to the LA Raiders. And that was it. Those were their 4 losses. And it's so funny because I was looking at the stats for the Browns that year. And if you look at Bernie Kosar, started all 16 games, my favorite player in NFL history. Started all 16 games, went 12-4, but he only had 17 touchdowns, passes. Now, he did have the lowest interception rating, percentage, whatever you want to call it, in the league that year. I remember that because he had a whole bunch of passes in a row without an interception. He set the NFL record at the time, which I'm sure has been broken since then. But 17 touchdowns. So if you look at the NFL stats that year, it's really, really funny because, let's see, the player stats. I think Dan Marino led the NFL in passing touchdowns with, I believe, like 44. Where do I find player stats? Right here. He had 44 passing touchdowns. Second place was Kenny O'Brien with 25. I mean, that's hilarious. He had 19 touchdowns more than the next person. I can't wait to look at his card. Then you look at passing yards. Kosar is 4th in the NFL with 3,800 yards. So 17 touchdowns and 3,800 yards. Nowadays, the fans would be screaming for the back. It's hilarious. I love it. I love looking at these old stats. But the Browns didn't have anybody super spectacular that year. I was looking at all the stats. If you look at the rushing leaders, you got Eric Dickerson just destroying everyone. Joe Morris, second. Kurt Warner, Reuben Mays, Walter Payton, Gerald Riggs, all the names you know. You got to go all the way down to 23rd to find Kevin Mack with 665. And then Curtis Dickey with 523. I mean, this is what led their team. Then if you look at receptions that year, pretty good. But the top 5 are, what is it? A tight end, a 30-year-old tight end. The top 6, there you go. A tight end, 3 wide receivers, and 2 running backs leading the way. 95 catches for 1153. But Jerry Rice, 86 catches, 1570, and 15 touchdowns. I mean, the 49ers, this team's going to be amazing. Same with the Dolphins and some of these others. I'm really, really looking forward to this. So let's get to the unboxing, and I will keep the stats open if we want to take a look at anything. We're going to start with box number 1. And right on top, you got Neil Olkowitz of the Redskins. Apparently, he didn't make it in the box, but we're going to take it out of this thing. So we're going to start with Neil Olkowitz. Apparently, he's a middle linebacker 4. There he is. Played for the Redskins. W1, QS1, WR. Pretty good player. Let's put that aside. Let's open up box number 1. I don't want to go through all the teams, but I do want to go through a lot of the teams. All right, so let us start. Let us start with the Atlanta Falcons. So here. So let's see. We got Atlanta. Atlanta wasn't much of a team, if I remember correctly, in the 80s. I could be completely wrong. I just don't remember it. Boy, they had a lot of players, though. Atlanta. Okay, so there we go. All right, so Atlanta has anybody we recognize here? No, I mean, let's look at their team. Let's see. Whoops. All right, so Atlanta, how'd they do that year? Yeah, they were 7-8, 7-8-1. There's nothing better than getting a tie. Doesn't look like they have anybody spectacular. David Archer started 11 games. Our boy Turk Schonert, who I played with Cincinnati a couple days ago from 83, started 5 games. Gerald Riggs. Gerald Riggs was a pretty good running back. Let's see. Where's Gerald Riggs? There he is. He's a halfback 4. C2. Come on. Zoom. There you go. Come on. There you go. All right. So he's a C2 receiver, but he's a halfback 4. Looks like he's got a lot of 15, 16, 17, so he's pretty good. Not much of anybody else in this team to care about. Leading Charlie Brown, he's a clown. He led the team in receiving. I thought he was a Redskin. Let's go to Buffalo. So Buffalo, this is the Jim Kelly year, or this is a Jim Kelly year. Thurman Thomas, right? This is a pretty good team. Is this who the Browns beat them in the playoffs in '89. Buffalo that year was, they were only 4-12. Wow, okay. I did not know that. They were not very good. Is Jim Kelly on this team? There he is. Jim Kelly's a quarterback 4. They went 4-12, but yet he's a quarterback 4. They must have a horrific defense. Let's see, is Thurman Tom? Oh, there's the guy right there. That poor man, Scott Norwood. Oh, missed 1 field goal. Everybody remembers you. There's Frank Reich. He led the greatest comeback of all time at the University of Maryland and then again for Buffalo. Let's see, Thurman Thomas on this team. Is Bruce Smith, or not Bruce Smith, Andre Reed on this team. So no Thurman Thomas yet. I don't know when his rookie year was. It had to be around the same time as Barry Sanders. Sanders was 89. I think Thurman Thomas might have been the same year. Is Andre Reed on this team? Yeah, Andre Reed, he's an EB3, but he's an A6. So he's a pretty good player. So they were 4-12, but they got some decent players. I find that kind of interesting. All right, let's go to the Bears. So this is the 86 Bears. This is the year after their Super Bowl, and they're going to have a bunch of players that you've heard of. Neil Anderson's only a 2. Wow, he's a 4 in my 1989 set, but he's only a 2. Let's see. Mark Bortz is a 4. How'd the Bears do that year? They were 14-2. So this is after they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Jim Covert is a 5. Let's see. Richard Dent is a 4. Dave Durston is a 4. Gary Fensick is a 4. Willie Gault is a 4. Yeah, Dan Hampton is a 4. Their whole defense is going to be 4s. Jay Hilgenberg's a 4. Wilbur Marshall's a 5. He was a Redskin too. Wilbur Marshall, he's a 5. Look at that. Anytime you see a WR and an FRK, that player scored some touchdowns. W7, QS3. Wow, this would be an interesting one to play with. I'm going to play the Browns' first game. The Browns' first game would have been that Bears game, 41-31 that they lost. Steve McMichael's a 4. Whole bunch of players here. Man. Walter Payton's a 4. What did he have to do to be a 5? Jeez. Anybody? Well, there's the Fridge. Saw Dave playing with them last week, giving the Fridge a couple of carries. He's a fullback 1 here. Tackle 4. Who else we got? Mike Richardson. I don't know who Mike Richardson is, but he's a cornerback 4. W7. Man, this is a good defense. And then, of course, Mike Singletary. He's not a 4. He is a 5. Come on. Focus. There we go. He's a 5. W1QS1. So they're playing a 4-3. And then, did I miss McMahon? There's Otis the Stick Wilson. He's a 4. This defense is all 4s and 5s. This is unbelievable. Yeah, this will be a fun one to play. I'm going to probably play Browns-Bears first. Let's look at the Bengals. So the Bengals that year split with the Browns. The Browns had a big win against them. Second to last game, they won like 34-3. Like, it was a big, big win. I think it actually won them the division. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So here's the Bengals. Kenny Anderson, but he is not. I don't think he's the starter. Isn't Esiason starting? Let's see. Yeah, there's Boomer. He's a 4. Boomer Esiason. He's a fullback 1 for somebody. He played fullback when Kenny Anderson played? That's strange. Fullback 1. So if we look at them, we got, let's see, anybody that are 4s or 5s that stand out. Louis Breeden. He's a 4. James Brooks. I think this is post San Diego Chargers. I think. James Brooks, he's an A5, so he's going to be a guy that gets the ball a lot. Eddie Brown. Yeah. I wonder if Collinsworth is on this team. Let's see, Ross Brown, or didn't they have? There's Collinsworth. He's a 4. He's an A6, so he was their number 1 receiver. Let's see. There's a Sison. David Fulcher. I thought David Fulcher would be better than a 3. He was a pretty good player. He was a big safety. Let's see. Who else we got here? Rodney Holman, big tight end. Yeah, they don't have as many, for going, 10-6 that year, they don't have as many 4s and 5s as I expected. There's Bruce Kozerski. He's a 4, guard center. So they must have had an offensive line back then. They certainly don't have one now. Tim Crumry, was he the one that broke his leg pretty violently early on? Tim Crumry? Let's see. Oh, Max Montoya. Yeah, they had a pretty good line. He's a 4. Yeah, they had a pretty good line back then. And there's Anthony Munoz. I mean, he's Hall of Famer. He's a 5. Yeah. That's a pretty good team, pretty good offensive lineman, a lot of 3s. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. I don't know what I'm going to do with this set in terms of playing games. I mean, I don't think I'm going to play every game. I think if I had gotten this first, this is the season I would be replaying right now. But I might play the Browns season. Play theirs. Sorry, phone always blows up. Anytime I'm recording, everybody wants to talk to me. It's weird. Okay. All right, so let's look at the Browns. So now for the Browns, they didn't have anybody that was spectacular statistically. So the only way I feel like the only way APBA can replicate the wins is to make their defense really good, maybe their offensive line really good. I feel like that's the only way you can do it. So if we look, we got Mike Babb starting at center. He's a 4. Oh, man, this is terrible. Is it because I have this here? He's a 4. Let's move this out of the way. All right. So then you got Matt Barr. Met him once. Nice guy. Met him at Coach's Clinic. Matt Barr. Let's see. Who else we got here? Chip Banks. I remember Chip Banks, number 56. He's a 4. So, yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to make their defense good. They're going to make their offensive line good, which they were. Brian Brennan, one of my favorite players of all time. He's an A6. He's a 4-3. He's a 4 on the pass. He was basically the poor man's Cooper Kupp from a couple years ago with the Rams. He was a slot receiver that just ran around and caught passes. Ernest Biner. This is a year before the fumble. He's a halfback 3, but he's an AB9. Caught a lot of passes that year. Reggie Camp, Sam Clancy. See, these guys are 3s and 2s. Curtis Dickey, he was the one that I said was 2nd on the team in rushing. Let's see, Hanford Dixon. So he's a 5. So I guess it'd be Dixon and Minifield. He's a 5, W5, WR. Dixon and Minifield, the guys that invented the dog pound. Dan Fike, he's a 4. He's a guard. I remember Dan Fike. Let's see, Herman Fontenot, big fan. Bob Golick, a nose tackle. He's a 4. So, yeah, statistically they're not great, but if you put them in A more than you do B, they're going to get those extra yards and probably win games. Who else we got here? Big Daddy, Carl Hairston. He's a 4. Defensive end. He was big number. Was he 78? I think he was 78. Mark Harper. I have no idea who D.D. Hoggard even is. I've never heard that name in my life. Let's see. Harry Holt, the big tight end. Eddie Johnson. So we always used to say it, Eddie Johnson. If you look at him, he doesn't have a neck. It's weird. He's a 3. Come on. This camera's terrible. He's a 3. I would have put him as a 4. But what about Mike Johnson? Oh, he's a 2? Wow, Mike Johnson should be a 3 or a 4. He was good, too. Of course, I'm biased. There's Big Bernie. So Bernie's a 4. All right, I love it. And you're not going to see. Okay, so I see a 22 and a 21 at 12 and 32. Those are the only 2 interception numbers I see. Yeah, so he's not throwing a lot of interceptions because even when you roll a 32 and it's a 21 in like a short pass, if you're in A or B, that's probably not intercepted either. If you're in C, it could be. C, D could be intercepted. I'm surprised he's got single digit run columns. That dude runs like me, like 51-year-old me. He was terrible. I see fumble numbers though at 12 on runs. I see fumble numbers at 12, 32, 50, 52. Yeah, he probably had some fumbling issues, but I love all those single digits in the pass column. He's got an 8 at 64. He's got a 10 at 53. A 42 gives you an 8. A 45 is a 12. This is a good card. I'm excited to play with this card. Holy cow. Mr. Kozar. Then you got Reggie Langhorne. Kevin Mack was a 4. So, yeah, they're giving these guys better ratings, even though statistically they're probably staying the same. That'll pump it up a little. Get him the A's and B's more. There's Clay Matthews. He should be a Hall of Famer. They keep not putting him in. He's an outside linebacker 4. Great player. Big number 57. The Ice Cube. I think this might be his rookie year. This might be his rookie year. The Ice Cube, Gerald McNeil. Returned punts and kickoffs like crazy. Loved it. Frank Minniff. So Dixon's a 5. Minnifield's a 4. Interesting. What else we got here? Mark Mosley. I think Matt Barr got hurt and Mosley kicked near the end of the season. He was barefoot kicker. No, he was, I can't remember if he was barefoot or not, but he was a straight-on kicker, which you didn't see very often. Ozzie Newsome. This is getting down near the end of his career. He's a B4, ET3. So that's interesting. I don't know what that means. Mike Pagel, but there's an asterisk beside quarterback. I wonder what that means. I've never seen that before. Anybody know what that means? Help me out here. Let's see. Dave Pizzulli, Cody Risen, big number 73. Big fan of Cody Risen. I think he was 73. I'm saying these jersey numbers as if they're right. I think they are. I'm trying to be more confident than I actually am when I say it. Webster Slaughter. How is he only a 3? 84. I know that jersey number's right. Big 84. He's an A4. I like him. Let's see. Anybody else worth anything here? Larry Williams, a guard 4. Actually, he's a 4-3, but he's a 4. And then you got the man, Felix Wright. So Felix Wright, I can't remember. Is this the year he led the league in interceptions? He's only a 2, which is kind of surprising because he was our starting safety, and he was really good. Is this the year he led the league in interceptions? Let me just look at the stats here. Defense. Oh, I don't think it is. Interceptions. Ronnie Lott, Deron Cherry, Mark Lee. No, this is not the year he led the interceptions. In fact, Hanford Dixon had 5 interceptions to lead the team. So there was a year where Felix Wright led the league. He had like 10 or 11 interceptions that year. He must not have been there. All right, that's going to be your Cleveland Browns. Very excited to play with them. Let's pull Dallas out of here. Dallas. All right, with Dallas, we got anybody we care about. Brian Baldinger, I know he played for Dallas. He was a Kansas City Chief for a while. Billy Bates is a 3. Daryl Clack. I wonder who their quarterback is. We're not in Danny White territory anymore. I don't think. Tony Dorsett, he's a 4. We're getting near the end of his career. He's a halfback 4. He's actually a 3-4. He's a 3 against pass, 4 on the runs. So he's pretty good. How'd Dallas do that year? Dallas that year was, they were 7-9, so they were just kind of an average team. Ron Fellows is a 4. Tony Hill. He's an A5, but he's an EB3. Yeah. All right. Ed Too Tall Jones. There's Jim Jeffcoat. These were good players, but not an 86 apparently. He's a 3. He's a 4 too, but he's a QS8, so he gets back there into the backfield a lot. Then underneath him, you got Ed Too Tall Jones. He's a 4-3, QS3. He's an N3. I mean, these guys are all just kind of average. Let's see. Oh, my God. Paul McDonald went to Dallas. Oh, good. They can have him. Can't stand that guy. Timmy Newsome is a 3. Anybody else? Steve Pallor. I wonder if he was their starter. This is they drafted Aikman, I think, in 89. This is 3 years before Aikman. And Emmitt Smith, I think, was 90. And nobody special. Oh, there's Herschel Walker. So this is post 86. No, this is pre-trade. The trade was in 89. This might have been his rookie year. Halfback 4, fullback 4. And there's Danny White. So we are in the Danny White era still. Steve Kolar was a 3 and Danny White's a 3. So we'll have to see who started games for them. All right, let's go to this evil, evil team. This evil team that just broke my heart so many times in the 80s. The Denver Broncos. Oh, wait. Yeah, we got these guys. All right, so the Denver Broncos. So who's good? Keith Bishop is a guard. Bill Bryan. So they got a good line. Bill Bryan is a center. Those guys are 4s. Elway. There's Elway. We called him Horseface around my household. But we were bitter Browns fans. That's what we did. Pretty good player. He was a good runner. I know that. Then right underneath. Oh, so he has 2 cards. I'm not sure. He has a punter card. So that PB right there. So he has a punter card. So he must have kicked a few times. But it's the P column. So I'm puzzled by that. PBP. Huh. Interesting. Let's see. Where are some of the other guys that hurt me? Let's see. I know Mark Jackson's in here somewhere. He hurt me. There he is. Mark Jackson. He's an EB3B4. And he broke my heart because he caught the touchdown pass on the drive that tied the game. Made me so sad. You had him. There's Tommy Jackson. Future ESPN primetime superstar. Ow, my ear itches. Let's see. Then you got Vance Johnson, another one of those receivers. They had 3. They had, I think it was Mike. It was Mark Jackson. It was Vance Johnson. I think Steve Watson was the other one. Mm-hmm. Clarence K, the tight end. And there's Rich, their kicker, Rich Carless. He's the one who kicked the field goal in overtime at the end of the drive. People think that the drive won the game. It tied the game. Then it went into overtime, and Rich Carless kicked the field goal that I don't think was good, but, whatever. The NFL hates Cleveland, so. Okay, that's a conspiracy theory that my buddy has. I don't actually have that conspiracy theory. What else we got? Anybody worth anything in here? They got a good offensive line. I've seen 3 guys in their offensive line that are 4s. There's Carl Mecklenburg. He was a 5. He was really good. Inside linebacker, QS6. They don't really have as many as like who was it? Who was it? Oh, Chicago had a ton of 4s. They went 14-2. Denver only went. Yeah, Denver went 11-5. The Browns were the number 1 seed in the AFC. There's Steve Watson. He was the other wide receiver. He's actually the best one of the bunch. He's an EB4, A5. Yeah, so he's a pretty good player. Gary Wilhite is a fullback 4. So they got some 4s, but boy, not as many as I expected them to have. Yeah, all right. That's Denver, the evil empire. Who else we got? There's Detroit. I don't think we care about Detroit. I apologize if you're a Detroit person. But I was back then as a kid, I was like all AFC. I didn't really care about the NFC. Although I did love watching Barry Sanders play. But I didn't really care about the NFC. There's Green Bay. How'd Green Bay do? Green Bay was, they were 4-12, so they weren't great. Here are the Houston Oilers. Now, the Houston Oilers were in the same division as the Browns, but man, did I love Warren Moon. So I wasn't always rooting against. I was rooting against them most of the time because I didn't want them to win the division. How'd they do? But I really like Warren Moon. They went 5-11. Let's just find Warren Moon. Take a look at his card. Anybody else we recognize in here? See, now they had an amazing group of wide receivers. I don't know about 86. In 89, they had Ernest Givens and Haywood Jeffries and Drew Hill and Curtis Martin. They ran that run and shoot. In 86, they had Drew Hill, Ernest Givens, but I don't see Curtis Martin, and I don't see Curtis Martin. Is that right? Curtis Martin. Yeah, I think so. And I don't see Haywood Jeffries. So, yeah, but they did have Warren Moon. 5-10. Oh, wow. 13 touchdowns, 26 interceptions. And he actually led the NFL in interceptions with 26 areas. He's a 4. So remember on Kozar's card, there were only 2 interception numbers at 12 and 32. So you have an interception number at 32 for Moon, a 24. Then you have another one at 41. It's a 22. Then you have a 20 at 62, a 20 at 65. Wow, 65 is usually not that high of a number. A 19 at 46, a 19 at 26, a 19 at 21, a 20 at 60. Oh, yeah, Warren Moon's going to throw some picks that year. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go to our next team, the Indianapolis Colts. Did they have Eric Dickerson, or was he with the Rams? Let's see. The Colts were 3-13 that year. They had a minus 171 scoring, whatever you call it. Wait, where are the rest of my Colts? There they are. So let's see. Let's divide them up here. Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City. There we go. All right. So anybody, did they have Dickerson? That's all I really care about. I don't remember if he was playing for them. No, they did not have Eric Dickerson at the time. They had Randy McMillan and Albert Bentley. Yikes. Boy, the Colts did not have anybody. Matt Booza was their leading receiver. Who the hell is Matt Booza? He's a wide receiver. I've heard the name. I thought he was a fullback. A7, so he's an A. That's good at least. All right, let's go to the Chiefs. Kansas City that year. They went 10-6. 10-6. Who's throwing the ball for them? Bill Kenny and Todd Blackledge each started 8 games. Oh, yeah, Stephon Page. Yeah, so Stephon Page. So, again, only 52 catches led the league. That is amazing. Or led their team. Where's Bill Kenny? He's not even in here. So I don't have a Bill Kenny. I wonder where he ended up. Played 8 games, 86. Only played for Kansas City. Why don't I have a Bill Kenny? I'm gonna have to email the guys. There's Jamie Kimmel and Trey Junkin. Yeah, we're missing a quarterback for the Patriots or the. I'm looking at the wrong team. No wonder. Oh, I feel so much better now. I was looking at the Los Angeles Raiders. The Chiefs are here. All right, here we go. Here we go. So we should have a Bill Kenny in here. There he is, quarterback 3, Bill Kenny. He started 8 of their games, and the other 8 were started by, who did I say? Was it DeBerg? No, Todd Blackledge. Wow, this is not a good team. Todd Blackledge, he's a 2. Wow. Not good. Their running backs, Mike Pruitt, ex-Cleveland Brown, Boyce Green, ex-Cleveland Brown. Where they're starting running backs. Wait, that's Mike Pruitt didn't. Mike Pruitt played for them? I had no idea that Mike Pruitt played for them in 1986. That's pretty amazing. All right, sorry. Anyway, okay, so let's go to the Raiders. Marcus Allen with the Raiders. He's an AB6, halfback 4. He was pretty good. The Raiders were 8-8 that year, but they did have Todd Christensen, and that's my first. He's an ET tight end 5. But look, there's your first A asterisk, meaning it doesn't matter what defense you roll. If he's the intended receiver, you use the A column. That's how good he was that year. Who's their quarterback for the Raiders? That would be. Oh, Plunkett. Wow. Jim Plunkett and Mark Wilson. Wow. I didn't know that Plunkett was still playing. So you got Lester Hayes. I remember these 2 guys. Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes, the starting quarterbacks. They're 4-3. I bet they were better than that different years. I bet they were 4-4 or 5-4 at some point because they were really good. Let's see. Rusty Hilger. I forget what other team he played for. Was it Houston? Let's see. Give me a running back or a quarterback. There's Howie Long. He's a 4. He's a QS6. Pretty good player. Let's see. I'm looking for one of these quarterbacks. Who was it? Mark Wilson and Jim Plunkett. Matt Millen. Don Mosbar. Wow. I feel like he goes back to the Patriots of the 1980. Even before that, maybe. I see Bill Pickle. He's a 5. Nose tackle 5. I remember him. I don't remember him being that good, but okay. There's Plunkett. Plunkett's got a decent little card there. He's got a lot of single digits. 64 is an 8. 53 is a 10. 42 is an 8. Yeah, he must have had a decent percentage there. 13 is a 13. He must have had a pretty good percentage. I wonder if he got hurt. He is a J4 way down there. You can't really see it. There it is. He is a J4, so I wonder if he got hurt that year, and that's why Mark Wilson had to come in. There's Mark Wilson. He's a 3. I think you have to give them good single-digit numbers in order to get Todd Christensen his 90 catches. Let's see. Let's keep going here. Who do we got? We got the Los Angeles Rams. I know this is a Dickerson, I think. Right? Other than that, I know nothing about the Rams of 86. Did they have Henry Ellard back then? I know they had him in 89. They went 10-6, so they were a pretty good team. They went 10-6, and did they have Eric Dickerson? Yes, they did. Let's look at this Eric Dickerson card. 404 attempts, 1,821 yards, 11 touchdowns. He had a 98-yarder. That was the long in the NFL that year. There it is. Halfback 5. And he's got K. Collins all over. He's got 3 of them. 11, 33, 66. But look at all the 16s and 17s. 42 is a 17. 35 is a 17. 53 is a 17. 13 is an 18. Yeah, he's going to break some tackles and get some yards when I play them. If I play them, we'll see. Again, I don't know how much of this team I'm going to play. I know I'm just going to play it. Who was their quarterback? Was that? So, oh, wow, look at this. So Jim Everett is their starting quarterback, right? Jim Everett. He played 5. He started 5 games, went 3-2. He's a 2. He is a quarterback 2. He's a J4. He must have got hurt because then someone by the name of Steve Dills took over. Speaking of Bill Pickle, here's Steve Dills. He's a 2. So now they went 10-6. He went 3-2. He's a 2. And when he got hurt, he's a J4. They brought in Atlanta Falcons' own Steve Bartkowski, who I don't even have in the set. He started 6 games and went 4-6. Wait, maybe I do have him. I'll bet you they're right here. Maybe I do. There he is. I do have him. All right, good. This is the Raiders. Yeah, there's Steve Bartkowski, also a 2. So they went 10-6. Each of their 3 starting quarterbacks have winning records, and they're all 2-rated quarterbacks. That is pretty amazing. He also got hurt, but nobody else started at quarterback for that team that year. So, yeah. So we saw Dickerson's card. Anybody else matter? Like, isn't Henry Ellard in here somewhere? Yeah, Henry Ellard led the team in receptions with 35. There he is. He's an EB. So he's an EB3. Wow. A6. He was one of the top guys in the league in receptions. And he's an EB3. That is amazing. Anybody else matter? I don't think anybody else matters. Ronnie Brown, Eric Dickerson, Barry Redden, Cleveland Brown, Barry Redden also. What's at the back of this? Miami. So we're going to start the Dolphins. Oh, I'm excited to play Marino. All right, here we go. Get you out of the way. Let's open up box number 2. All right. Let's get these Miami Dolphins out. How many of the killer bees are still on this team? All right, I got to go to them and see how they did that year. Miami. Oh, 8-8. So they weren't great. They didn't even make the playoffs. There's Bob Baumhauer, Woody Bennett, Doug Betters. Again, the killer bees. Glenn Blackwood, Lyle Blackwood, both Blackwoods, Bud Brown, Donald Brown, Mark Brown, Bob Brzezinski. So that's all the bees. And even going back before that, they had more bees. It's amazing how many bees they had. Let's just find Marino. There's Mark Clayton. So he's an EB4, A6. So he's a good player, but they went 8-8. Puzzled by that. There's Mark Duper. He's an EB4, A7. So they had the Marx brothers. And let's see. We got to find Marino. Lorenzo Hampton, the starting halfback. He's a halfback 4. So it looks like they got a pretty decent offense. Where's Marino? There he is. So he's a 5. Led the league in passing yards, or touchdowns. Led the league in touchdowns. He's a 5. He only has a 1 at 66. He doesn't have a 1 at 11, so not a lot of long touchdowns. But, man, does he have a lot of low numbers. 36 is a 10. This guy's going to complete 80% of his passes. Holy cow. Let's see what he did in real life. In real life, he completed only 60%. Yeah, 623 attempts, 645 as a team, 4,700 yards, 44 touchdowns. Led the league that year in yards and touchdowns, and I am excited to play with that team. What do we got next? The Minnesota Vikings. I don't think I care too much about them. They got a lot of players. Holy cow, they got a lot of players. All right. Anybody exciting on Minnesota? Let's see. Minnesota went 9-7, didn't make the playoffs. Steve Bono is on that team. That must have been before his San Francisco days. He's a QB2. Steve Bono. He played for the 49ers, and then I think he followed Joe Montana to Kansas City. Tommy Kramer was your starter. Darren Nelson led the team in rushing yards, and Steve Jordan led the team in receptions. There's Anthony Carter. He's an A6. Do they have Anthony Carter and Chris Carter? No, just Anthony Carter. So he's an A6 or A5, EB3. Let's see. Anybody else matter here? Doesn't really look like it. Tim Irwin is an offensive tackle 4. Okay. So they got, look at Hassan Jones. I like it. He's a BA, not BA Baracus. He's a BA. So he's a B on short passes, but an A on medium and long passes. So that'll be interesting. He probably went deep a lot. There's Steve Jordan, led him in receptions. He's an A6, ET4 A6. And then right behind him, you got Tommy Kramer. He's a 4. Okay. I love seeing all these single-digit numbers on these cards. It's so much better than those cards in like the 50s and 60s where nobody has very many completions. So look at that. You got Doug Martin as a 4. And then right behind him, you got Keith Millard as a 4. So they must have had a pretty good defense. Darren Nelson was a 4. Oh, look at that. Buster Rhymes. Probably not the same one. He's an EB2. Okay. That's the scenario. Well, let's see. What do we got here? That's about it. Scott Studwell, another 4 on defense. Pretty good defense. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going here. Let's go to the New England Patriots. Coming off the Super Bowl loss. I wonder how they did that year. Did they recover? What was it, 46 to 10? Is that what it was? They went 11-5. They won the division, so apparently they did recover. Who do we got here? We got Tony Eason as your starter. He's a quarterback 4. He started 15 games, and then I started 14 games, and then Steve Grogan came in and played 2. You still got Stanley Morgan, 84 catches, so he was still playing hard. Where are you at, Stanley? There, that's not him. Stanley Morgan, he's an EB4 A5, or A8, I'm sorry, A8. So he's a big one. Actually, Tony Collins, he's a running back, isn't he? He's the second on the team in receptions. Yeah, he's a halfback, starting halfback. Do you lead the team? No. Well, they had they had a lot of different running backs that year. Tony Collins got 156 carries for 412 yards, so it's not great. That's 2.6 per. And then you go to Craig James. He's a fullback, and he had 154 carries for 427. That's 2.8. Boy, their running game. Their running game as a team averaged 2.9 yards per carry. That's not great. That's why Tony Easton and Steve Grogan were out there winging it. Let's look at the rest of the team here. Don Blackman is a 3. Pete Brock, center 4. Raymond Claiborne was a 4, cornerback 4. I bet they had a good defense. That's what helped them with that. Because when you're running 2.9 yards per carry, you're not doing well. I'll tell you what, though, Paul Fairchild is a guard 4, so they got a couple of good offensive linemen. Irving Fryer is a 4. This is pre-Miami days. Let's see. Grogan. So Grogan, he only started 2 games. He's a 2. He's a 2 that year. Let's see. Anybody else in here? Brian Holloway, another offense. That's 3 offensive linemen now that are 4s. Boy, those guys still couldn't. They still couldn't run the ball. Ronnie Lepet is a 4, cornerback. Fred Marion is a 4, so they got a good defensive backfield too. He's a 4. Larry McGrew, Rod McSwain, Steve Moore. So he's a 3 tackle, but he's a 4-3. So he was better against the pass than the run, which makes sense. Let's see. Who else we got? Ramsey, Rembert, Reynolds, Ruth, Scott, Sims. These are all 2s and 3s. Mosi Tupu's still on the team. He's a fullback 3. But he's a 2-4, so he was better against the run. He'll probably be the starting fullback. Andre Tippett, he's a 4, outside linebacker. QS 8, so he was in the backfield a lot. That's about it. And I'll tell you what, there's another one. Ron Wooten is a guard 4. So 4 of their 5 offensive linemen are going to be 4s. And yet they still couldn't run the ball. That is very strange. I wonder if that's what's going to happen on the board. They'll have a higher offensive index. They'll probably be able to get into the A's and the B column more than they'll be in the C's. So that's interesting. All right, so we are on to the New Orleans Saints. Well, how the Saints did that year, let's see. The Saints went 7-9. Last in the division, but 7-9 is not terrible. I don't know much about their team other than I just played them with 1983. I recognize some of those guys like Hobie Brenner I just saw. Who led their team? Who was the quarterback for them? That was Dave Wilson. You would have said Dave Wilson to me. I'd have been like, I have no idea. That was the name of our mayor here in town for a while. That's probably not the same guy. Anybody worth anything? One of our favorite players. They have Jumpy Gathers. He went to the Redskins, and me and my buddy called him Happy Gathers. We gave him a different Seven Dwarfs name. Why not? Let's see. Boy, there's just really not a lot on the Saints that I recognize. They get Jay Hilgenberg's little brother, Joel. Or big brother, I'm not sure which. There's Bobby Hebert. There's a whole Seinfeld skit about Bobby Hebert when George is trying to impress a woman by saying, Bobby Hebert, the T is silent. But if you had an R before the B, it's Herbert. Why is that? Which is, fairly a good question, actually. Let's see. Ricky Jackson. So we got some of those linebackers. It was Ricky Jackson, Sam Mills, Vaughn Johnson, and Pat Swilling. So there's one of them, Ricky Jackson. He's a 4. Let's see. We're going to get them all. There's Vaughn Johnson. He's a 2. Then you got Pat Swilling. And I already forgot who the other one was, even though I said it a minute ago. Let's see. Who was the other one? So there's Reuben Mays. He's a halfback 4. I remember him. Pretty good running back. There's Sam Mills. That was the other one. Sam Mills is a 3. He's a 3-4, so he's a 4 against the run. And there's Pat Swilling. Oh, he's only a 2. Yeah, so these linebackers weren't quite there yet. I think it was closer to 90 when they got to be kind of known as those 4 really good linebackers for the Saints. Not a great nickname, but whatever. All right, so let's go on to the New York Jets. So the New York Jets, we get to do a test here. We saw yesterday, in yesterday's video, Johnny Lamb Jones was Lamb Jones. When I met him in, what year would that have been? Probably like 2003, 2004. When I met him, he was Johnny Lamb Jones. I watched him sign his name. Let's just look at that first. Let's see. Oh, is he not even in here? Oh, wait, he's not even in here. Oh, no. Did he not play for them? Well, that's very disappointing. Let's go look. Let's see. That's been my big question for like a week now of playing this game is why does Johnny Lamb Jones go by Lamb Jones sometimes and Johnny Lamb Jones other times? So let's see. Receptions. Altoon, or as my buddy Scott used to call him, Altoon your guitar. Mickey Schuler, Free McNeil. Yeah, he's not in here. So Johnny Lamb Jones did not play for the Jets in 85 or 86, so I guess I'll never know. Who do they have, though? Where's Gastineau? So Kyle Clifton, there we go. Kyle Clifton, inside linebacker 4. Actually a 3 against the pass, but a 4. Bob Crable, linebacker 4. Man, the Jets had a good defense, didn't they? Except for that. Oh, wow, look at this. Look at this. Mark Gastineau. He's a 2. How many games did he play that year? I'll bet it wasn't many. I remember he got called for roughing the Kozar in the game that got the Browns 15 yards to allow them to come back from a 10-point deficit, tie the game, take it into double overtime, and then win. So he played 10 games this year. 86. He played 10 games. Started 7 of them. Yeah, he's on the downside of his career. The next 3 years, he only played 32 total games over 3 years. He only started 21 of them. 7, 7, and 7. So, yeah, he was on the other side of his career by then. So he's only a 2. I'm surprised at that. It's also funny that they put all his colleges in there. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. Eastern Arizona, Arizona State, East Central Oklahoma. Yeah, imagine if they had to do that nowadays with the way this stupid portal thing happens. What else we have? Oh, man, let's see. Johnny Hector. I'm just looking for defensive players. Charles Jackson, never heard of him. He's a 4. He's a 3-4. They must have been better against the run than the pass because he's also a 3-4. Joe Klecko is only a 3. Lester Lyles. Where's Marty Lyons? He's only a 3. He was a good player, too. These guys are better in 83 than they were in 86. Marty Lyons. There's Freeman McNeil. AB 7, halfback 4. He must have led the team. I bet he led the team in rushing that year. Yeah, 214 carries, 856 yards. Johnny Hector was second. And starting quarterback, was that Kenny O'Brien? Yes, it was. Kenny O'Brien and Pat Ryan. There's O'Brien. He's a 4. Look at those single-digit numbers, though. Love it. I love the passing. Mickey Schuler, there he is. He's an AB7. ET4. All right, there you go. And there's Altoon. Oh, look at Altoon. He's an EB5A9. Yeah, he was one of the best that year. 6'4", 205. I wish I was 6'4". I'm barely 5'4". Well, I'm a little bit taller than that, but not much. Next, we got your New York Giants. So there's your so New York was good this year, weren't they? The Giants, I feel like they were pretty good. Was this a Super Bowl year for them? Who did go to the Super Bowl this year? Oh, yeah, it's Giants Denver, and Giants beat them. That's what I thought. Okay, so the Giants went 14-2. All right, that's pretty good. They went 14-2. So they got Phil Simms starting all 16 games. They got Joe Morris. Wow, okay, 1,500 yards. And then receiving, Mark Bavaro, 66 catches for 1,001 yards. And wow, look at this. Oh my, look at this. Look at this screen. Look at this. Mark Bavaro led the team with 66 receptions. Second place, 33. They had to have run the ball. So 472 passes, 558 runs. Yeah, they're going to be like a 60-40 or 55-45 rushing team. They did not run very much. All right, so what do we got here? So we got an offensive lineman. Billy Ard is a 4. I bet we're going to see a really good offensive line here. Billy Ard is a 4. Carl Banks is a 4. This is going to be a good team. I'll tell you what, Bears-Giants would have been a good game. Bavaro is an ET5A7. So he's good. Brad Benson, another offensive lineman, is a 4. Jim Burt, another defensive player, is a 4. Harry Carson, another defensive player, is a 4. He's a 4-5. He's a 5 against the run. Let's see. What else we got? Do we find all the 4s and 5s? Oh, no. There's another offensive lineman. He's a 4. They're going to have their offensive line. Their offense is going to be like a 40. There we go. Kenny Hill is a strong safety 4. We're getting to LT. Don't worry. We're getting there. Let's see. Pepper Johnson is a 2. I like Pepper Johnson. Terry Kennard is a 4. Yeah, the Giants are going to be fun to play with. I'll definitely play a game with the Giants. Let's see. Leonard Marshall. This defense is amazing. A 4. George Martin. All of their defensive players are 4. Holy cow. I might play a Bears-Giants exhibition game. Phil McConkey. No relation to Lad McConkey. Joey Morris. There he is. He's a 5. Led the way that he was second in the NFL in rushing that year. Like 300 yards behind Eric Dickerson. Another offensive lineman 4. Another defensive player 4. Gary Reasons. Man, their defense. Let's just do this really quick. There's Phil Simms is a 4. All those single-digit numbers again. So let's just do this really fast. And there's LT. LT is a 5. He's a QS 12. And he's a WR column. So he intercepts the pass. Look at those 1s. I see 4 1s. He's got a chance. So let's do this. Is that everybody? All right. So and then there was a cornerback 4. So let's just do this. Let's go special teams, running back, offensive line, linebacker, skill player, offensive line. This is what I would do in real life anyway when I was setting them up. Let's just do this really quick. I'm really curious what their defense is going to be. He's a kicker, end, safety, fullback, guard, linebacker, strong safety, quarterback, nose tackle, outside linebacker, skill player, offensive linebacker, inside linebacker, center, inside linebacker, special teams. EB3, defensive end, wide receiver, running back, skill player, offensive line, corner, linebacker, tackle, 2 halfback, quarterback, nose tackle, quarterback, linebacker, one of the Bobs from the Bears, Bob Thomas. I just played him with the Bears. All right, and then end, safety, corner. All right, let's just take a look at their defense real quick here. We'll start with their defensive line. So we got nose tackle, so they're 4-3. So you got Leonard Marshall, you got George Martin, and Jim Burt. So let me move this around so you can see it here. Actually, let's just do this. There we go. We'll just do that for now. All right, so you got Leonard Marshall, you got Jim Burt, and you got George Martin. Not George R.R. Martin, George Martin. All right, so there's the first 3 guys of your front 7. Then we go to linebacker. You got LT, Gary Reasons, Harry Carson, and Carl Banks. We got a front 7 here, and not a single one of these guys is let me put it this way. Every single one of them is higher than 4. Or I'm sorry, is 4 or higher. All right, so let's go to the defensive backs. You got Perry Williams. You got Terry Kennard. Boom. So we have one guy. Mark Collins is your only 3. The other 10 guys starting on defense are 4s. So they're going to be a 43. That could be the highest defense I've ever seen. So inside, and outside, corner, strong and free. So look at this. Here we go. You got Leonard Marshall. He's a 4. Jim Burt. He's a 4. Gary Reasons, inside linebacker. He's a 3-4, but he's a 4. Harry Carson makes up for it because he's a 4-5. So we're back to even. Then you got George R.R. Martin. He's a 4. LT, he's a 5. Actually, they're going to be 44 because LT's a 5. Carl Banks is a 4. All right, Mark Collins, look at that. He's a 2-3. So he's a 3. Were there any other corners that were 3s? Oh, there we go. This guy. Oh, he's also a 2-3. Elvis Patterson. He's also a 2-3. So I got to choose between one of those two guys. We'll just go with Mark Collins because I know the name. So he's a 2-3. So he's going to bring it down to 43, 44. Perry Williams is a 4. Ken Hill is a 4. And Terry Kennard is 4. So they're going to be a 43, 44. 43 against the pass, 44 against the run. That is going to be there. I mean, the other teams are going to be in C like nonstop. All right, let's look at their offensive line. Bart Oates, Carl Nelson, Billiard. Boom, we need a tackle. Oh, wow, this tackle is a 2. All right, so it's not that great. We've got a 2, a 4, a 4, a 3, and a 4. Okay, not terrible. You would take that if you were any NFL fan. Imagine if the Bengals had that now. Then you got Joe Morris as a 4. Mark Bavaro as a 5. I am playing with this team. I am definitely playing Giants. I might play Giants Bears just for fun. All right, so that's the Giants. We haven't even gotten to the 49ers yet. All right, so Philadelphia. How did Philly do that year? They had a lot of cards. Holy cow. Holy cow, they're not going to fit in the envelope. Wow, they got a lot of cards. All right, let's see how they did. I kind of like doing these super long unboxing videos where I'm going through all the cards. It's bringing back some fun memories for me here. So I kind of like this. I hope you're watching all the way through. If you like it, I love all these players. All right, so Philadelphia, they were 5-10-1. They weren't great. Keith Byers is on the team. I know Randall Cunningham is here somewhere. I saw he was a 3. Again, we got an asterisk. What the heck does that asterisk mean? I got to look that up in the rules. I've never seen that before. He's a quarterback 3. See, he does not have near as many single-digit passing column numbers as some of the other guys did. 64, he's a 17. 45, he's an 18. Those other guys were like 8, 9, and 10 on those ones. Is Chris Carter on this team? Where's Chris Carter at these days? No, where is Chris Carter at? Yeah, nobody really there that's exciting. All right, we're getting close to the end here. We're going to Pittsburgh. Never a place I want to go, but they were good. Actually, I don't know if they were good in 86 or not. Let's see. 6-10. So no, they weren't. Who was it? Was it still Bubby? Or was it Neil O'Donnell? Like, when did Neil O'Donnell even start playing? Oh, it was Mark Malone. Mark Malone, one of the great mustaches of all time. There he is. He's a 3. See, look at that. He's got more single-digit numbers than Randall Cunningham. He's a 3. Let's see. You got Walter Abercrombie leading the team. Actually, Ernest Jackson. They had a pretty good running game. Ernest Jackson, 216 for 910. So that's 4.2 yards a carry. I don't even know who Ernest Jackson is. I don't even remember Ernest Jackson. There he is. He's a fullback 4. He's actually a 3-4. I can move this back to here. He's actually a 3-4. Ernest Jackson. And then Abercrombie is a halfback 4. He's an AB5 also. So those were the guys that ran the ball. And then you got Lewis Lips. Wow, look at that. Abercrombie led the team. That's another one of these teams. Abercrombie leads the team with 47 catches. Lewis Lips is second with 38. John Stallworth, 34. Wow, some of these teams with their lack of receiving is hilarious. You got Walter Abercrombie, you got Gary Anderson, Bubby. So Bubby is on the team, but it's not Bubby. It's Mark Malone. Wasn't his real name Norman? Is that right? Brian, tell me. Is that his real name, Norman? There's Robin Cole. I met Robin Cole. Met him at a coach's clinic in Pittsburgh in Greentree. Greentree. Was it the Holiday Inn Greentree? I think it was. I met him at a coach's convention. That would have been in like 2003, 2004, somewhere in there. Nice guy, even though he was a Steeler. Let's see if they have any 4s other than those running backs. So let's see. A lot of guys I do not. There's Brian Hinkle. That's a name I remember. He's a W4 QS3. He's an outside linebacker 4. Brian Hinkle. Tunch Ilkin. He's the 3. I remember him. I can just hear Myron Cope in my head just pronouncing these guys with that accent he had. I mean, that had to be a pure Pittsburgh accent with Myron Cope. Lewis Lips, there he is. He's an A5, so he's a pretty good receiver. EB3. David Little. There's Mark Malone. Mike Merriweather, I remember him. He's a 4. I remember him. I couldn't tell you their jersey numbers. Let's see. Randy Rasmussen, John Rienstra, and not a lot of good players here. Donnie Shell, I do remember Donnie Shell. He was a 3. Strong safety. There's Stallworth. Stallworth's an A5. He was, what did I say? He was 4th on the team, 3rd in team in receiving. He was an A5, EB3. Yeah, not much of anything in here. Oh, yeah, Ouija Thompson. It was always funny that his name was Ouija. Mike Webster. Pittsburgh always had a lot of great centers on their team. Mike Webster was one of them. That's about it. Who's that? Keith Willis, I remember him. Defensive end. Was he 95? That sounds familiar to me, but I don't know. Yeah, there you go. All right, so there's Pittsburgh. A whole bunch of cards. You can't see. I got a ton of cards. It's just all spread out over here. All over the desk. All right. Next. What do we got? We got the St. Louis. I'm going to assume they were the Cardinals and not the Rams at the time because the LA Rams existed. All right. So what do we got for the Rams? I can't imagine they were a pretty good team, but I don't know. Let's see. They were 4-11-1. This is before they went to Arizona. Okay. Before they went to Arizona. So they were not good. Who do they have on their team? Anybody worth talking about? Neil Lomax. Oh, they got those receivers. Let's see what those receivers are. In my 1989 set, JT Smith is like an A*10. Like, he's really good. So let's see what he is. Him and Roy Green. What are they? So there's Al Bubba Baker before his Cleveland days. Let's see. I am not seeing anybody higher than 2 or 3, but we're getting close to Roy Green. There's Roy Green. So Roy Green, he's an A6, but he's a 3, and that's because they went 4-11-1 or whatever it was. You got to give him an A, but he can't be higher than a 3 because then the team offensive rating goes up, and you can't do that. There's Neil Lomax. A lot of single digits for him too, but he's only a 3. Okay. Where's JT Smith? There's Stump Mitchell. He was pretty good. He was an AB4. He was a pretty good player. Jay Novacek. That's his post-Dallas days. Or was it pre-Dallas? I think it was post. No, I think it was pre-Dallas. Because didn't he play with Aikman? I feel like he did. Let's see. Where's JT Smith? There he is. Look at that. EB3, A8. But not an asterisk this time. That's because they weren't very good. Yeah, so that's going to be the Cardinals. All right. Starting to run out of room here. Luckily, I'm also running out of teams. So we got the Chargers. All right. So anybody good for the Chargers? How'd they do? Kind of like the Chargers. I love that Air Coryell stuff. So they went, they were 4-12. They weren't good either. Who was it Fouts? Yeah, it was Dan Fouts. And it was also, look at that. I mean, Gary Anderson, Wes Chandler, Kellen Winslow, Charlie Joyner, Lionel James, they were pretty good, but where were they so bad? Gary Anderson only 127 carries. Curtis Adams. I don't know Curtis Adams. So there's Gary Anderson. He's an A4. He's a J0. They must have traded him. Oh, no, he played 12 games. Okay, he played 16 games. Gotcha. He played, wow. Okay, this is weird. He is a halfback 4, A8. He had 80 catches, but he did not run the ball much. He had 127 carries for 442 yards. That's it, 3.5 per carry. And he spent all his time catching passes. Holy cow. He led the team with 80 catches. The other guy was Curtis Adams. Oh, right on top. He's a halfback 2. So he led the team he was the other guy that led the team in rushing. He had 118 carries, 366 yards, 3.1 a carry. Man, they were not very good. Let's see. I'm not recognizing a lot. There's Fouts. Fouts is actually a 4-3, so he's better on the pass plays than the run plays. A lot of single digits for him, too. That's good. So Fouts. Let's see. There's Pete Houlihan. There's the L Train, Lionel James. Halfback 2, but an A. They had a lot of good A's and B's pass receivers, but their ratings are low. Look, Charlie Joyner, EB2. He's a B4. Wow. And you got to do that to keep their wins down, keep their stats down. You got to do that. Ralph Mosienko, the big punter. Let's see. Leslie O'Neal was only a 3. And then where's Winslow? Let's not ask him about his son. He's got problems. There's Kellen Winslow, ET3, A6. So all their receivers are like A's and B's, but their ratings are low. And again, you got to do that, like I said, to keep their rankings down. All right, we got the 49ers now. Where are we starting here? There we go. Right there. All right. So you got the 49ers. The 49ers, how'd they do? They went 10-5-1. 10-5-1. So Dwayne Board, defensive end 4. Pretty good player. Dwight Clark. He's a 3. He's a 4-3, A6. Had the catch back in the early 80s, 81, I think it was. Oh, ex-Cleveland Brown, Tommy Cousineau. That's where he went after Cleveland. Roger Craig, one of the best to play running back ever. He's an AB8. I'll bet he led the team in receptions. You got Jerry Rice, probably. He probably did. But, what are you going to do? He's still good. Roger Craig, let's see. Jerry Rice, 86 catches, 1570. Roger Craig, 8. Look at that. I love that difference. Jerry Rice, 86 catches for 1,570 yards. Roger Craig had 5 less catches. He had 900 less yards. That's great. Oh, they had Joe Cribbs. So there's Craig. I didn't know they had Joe Cribbs. He went there after Buffalo. And there he is. He's an AB4, halfback 3. Okay. Randy Cross is a 4. Ricky Ellison is a 4. Jim Farnhorst is a 4. Russ Francis, tight end. ET3, but he's an A. Some pass receivers on this team. Maybe I'll play Giants 49ers. Was that by any chance, was that the championship game in the NFC? It was Giants Redskins. Giants 49ers. There it is. Oh my God, the Giants won 49-3 in the division. I might have to play that game. 49-3 seems outrageous. Jeff Kemp. There's Ronnie Lott. He's a 5. He was really good. 49-3. Holy cow. Tim McKyer. There's Montana. Montana's only a 4. But he's got all those single-digit numbers. Where's Jerry Rice? There's Rathman. Jerry Rice. He's an EB, and he lines up. Wow, you can put him at halfback if you want to. He's an EB HB5, A8. Not an asterisk, though. Wow. Okay. Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, today is Friday? Monday. Jerry Rice's birthday. Nice. Okay. That's about it. Keena Turner, I remember him. He's a 4. That's pretty good players. Yeah, they got some pretty good players. They'll be fun to play with. I might have to play. After I play Browns Bears, maybe I'll play Giants 49ers. All right, here are your Seattle Seahawks. I don't know what they did that year. I can't imagine it was anything good. Oh, they were 10-6. Okay. 10-6. Dave Brown is a 4, cornerback 4. Kenny Easley is a 3. Do they have Largent during this time? Jacob Green, I remember him. He's a 4, QS 7. Not a lot of big names here for a 10-6 team. Dave Craig, okay, he's a 4. And he's got all those single-digit numbers. Boy, the passing that during that time must have been good. There's Steve Largent. He's a 4. He's an A7. Yeah, he's a good one. Who was running the ball for them? Was it Kurt Warner? Oh, it was Kurt Warner. Wow, he had 1,400 yards. Okay. So Kurt Warner, where's he at? Let's just go right to Kurt Warner. There he is. He's a halfback 4. Pretty good player. And then John L. Williams was on the team. I don't know why. Nobody ever lists him as John L. Williams, but I remember him being as John L. Williams. He was a good pass receiver. Well, he had 33 catches. I thought he would have more than that. Yeah, so that's the Seahawks. And then we have 2 more, Tampa Bay and Washington. I hope you stuck it out with me all the way to the end. Tampa Bay, how'd they do? Tampa Bay went 2-14. Yikes. The Bucks. They got Steve Young. Yes, that's Steve Young as their quarterback. Another asterisk guy. Quarterback with an asterisk. It seems like it might be on guys that run. So quarterback asterisk 3. I wonder if that means if you have so in the art column on some of the boards, there's an asterisk. Usually the asterisk means that's the player that gets hurt. I'm going to have to look that up. I have like 6 or 7 other season sets, including 80, 83, and 89. I've never seen quarterback asterisk anywhere. But there it is. Quarterback asterisk. So they got Steve Young, James Wilder. He was pretty good. 190 for 704, 3.7 per carry. Yeah, that's not great. Receptions leading the team with 45 catches was Calvin McGee. Never heard of him. Keith Browner. Wow, was that pre or post Minnesota? Keith Browner. Gerald Carter. Jeremiah Castile. I remember him. Jeff Davis. They had a bunch of 2s and 3s, basically, which you'd expect from a 2-14 team. Phil Freeman. Bobby Futrell. Willie Gillespie. An EB1. That's rough. Oh, he's way down. He only had 1 catch that year, so that's why. Leonard Harris, Ron Heller, Ron Holmes, Donald Igwebuike. I love the kicker, Donald Igwebuike. Great name. Donald, not Igwebuike. No, I'm just kidding. David Logan, not Dave Logan, but David Logan, nose tackle 3. There's Calvin McGee, led the team in receptions. He's a tight end, A5. Okay, I don't remember ever hearing him. Kevin Murphy. Not Mystery Science Theater's Kevin Murphy. Bob Nelson. Man, these are some guys here. These are all 2s. 3s and 2s. Craig Swoop. Rob Taylor. Man, this is... there's James Wilder. He was fine. He's a 3. AB6. For Steve Young. So not much there. Not much for the Bucks. Let's go to the Redskins. And let's throw Neil Okowitz where he should go. Neil Okowitz. Oh, I already wait, why are there 2 of them then? Wait, I have a Neil Okowitz. Why did he give me another Neil Okowitz? That's weird. That is weird. I don't know why that's... Is there an error on one of them? Is it an error card? Huh. All right, we're going to have to look into that. All right, so Jeff Bostic of 4. Again, this is your Super Bowl winning team, right? Washington? No, it was the Giants. This is the Giants. Giants beat Washington in the NFC Championship 17-0. Giants were they 10-6? Oh no, they were 12-4. So the Redskins were 12-4. Jeff Bostic is a 4. Dave Butts, defensive tackle 4. Gary Clark. So then they have the 3 amigos. Is that what they were called? Gary Clark, Art Monk, and I know the other one. I'm sure if I just look through here, I'll find him. But I want to show you guys my memory. Monty Coleman, he's a 2. Calvin Daniels, Vernon Dean, Clint Didier. That's not who the 3rd member was. He's a 3. He's a 4-3. He's pretty good. Another BA. Darryl Green, the fastest man in football. He's a cornerback 4. W5. Also a backup punt returner. Russ Grimm, these are the Hogs. He's a 4. They had the Hogs and the 3 amigos. Joe Jacoby. There he is. Monk, Clark, and who was the other one? Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. Kaufman, let's see. Dexter Manley, he's a 5. QS 11. Remember when the big controversy came out because he couldn't read? So Dexter Manley, is it Charles Mann right under him? Yes, he is. He's a defensive end 4. QS 6. Those guys were making a lot of sacks. Mark May, another hog. Raleigh McKenzie, Rich Malott. He's a 4. Yeah, they had a good team. Art Monk, he's an EB4. Let's see. A couple of Neil Oakwitz cards for some reason. Either way, he's a middle linebacker 4. Terry Orr. Ricky Sanders, that's who it was. So George Rogers, he's a halfback 4. He's actually a 3-4. And then there's Ricky Sanders. He was the third member of that Three Amigos, I'm pretty sure. Were they called the Three Amigos? I feel like they were. Jay Schrader is a 4. Was he their starter? Oh, yeah, he started 16 games. Went 12-4. 22 touchdowns, 22 interceptions. So he'll be a fun one to play with. I see a 23, a 21, a 20, another 20, another 20, another 20. Oh, yeah, he'll be a fun one to play with. Let's see. Clarence Verdun, his post-Indianapolis days. There he is. Or pre-Indianapolis days, because he's in my 89 set, I think, for the Colts. And that's about it. And that is going to be it for the unboxing. I'm very excited to play with the 86 Browns, but I'm really going to play that Giants-Bears game. I think that could be a fun one. Was it Giants-Bears? No, it was Giants-49ers. That's what it was. It was Giants-49ers. And that would be a replay of the NFC divisional game where the Giants won 49-3. Yeah, that could be a fun one. So thanks for watching, everyone. I got some golf coming on the table next, and I also have some 86 football coming next. And then eventually I'll get back to 89, but I'm having so much fun with all those other seasons that we'll get there at some point. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all next time.